All right, y'all, we can praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise the Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Let's go to Proverbs 11 and 30. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, and he that wins souls is wise. Proverbs 15 and 4. A wholesome tongue is as a tree of life. And Proverbs 27 and 18. Whoso guard the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, and he that waiteth on his master shall be honored. So with that being said, come on, see if we can get to Genesis 2 and 20. Shalom, Brother Marcus.
And he said Said Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field, but for Adam there was not found a helpmeet for him.
He had no helpmeet.
And Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof.
Mm-hmm.
And the rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from the man made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
What'd he say?
And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
Mm-hmm.
She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
Pause. He said bone and bone, flesh of my flesh, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 1 Chronicles 10 and 1, man. Run that down for me real quick, like, man. Shalom, Quran, man. Amen. That boy got a little amped up on that one.
The 1 Chronicles 1 and 2?
10 and 1.
Now the Philistines fought against Yasharal, and the men of Yasharal fled from before the Philistines.
That is 2 Chronicles 10 and 1. Shalom, Brother Alice. Let me make sure. I might got you out of pocket. That could be my fault. Yeah, that is. Excuse me. It's 11 and 1. 1 Chronicles. I had it in the wrong chapter. It's 110. It's 11. 1 Chronicles 11 and 1.
Then all Yasharal gathered themselves to David unto Hebron, saying, behold,
Shalom,
we are
brother,
your
man.
bone and your flesh.
We your what?
We are your bone and your flesh.
Let me ask y'all this question, man. What was David saying when he made this statement to these people? They won. Just like what you've seen in the law. Now, with that being said, Luke 24 and 39. Shalom, brother, man.
Said, behold my hands and my feet,
that's
that
good.
it is I myself. Handle me and see, for a Ruach have not flesh and bones, as you see me have.
Now, you keep that in most statement in matter that he said flesh and bones. Ephesians 5 and 27, I believe. After that, Psalms 127 and 1.
That he might present it to himself in esteemed assembly, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be kadosh and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loves his wife love himself. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourish and cherish it.
Nourish
the
and
Lord
cherish
the assembly. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones.
You are members of his what?
Of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones.
And what else?
For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother.
And do what?
And shall be joined unto his wife.
And what else?
And they two shall be one flesh.
Uh-huh.
This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Mashiach and the assembly. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular so love his wife, even as himself, and the wife that she reverence husband.
Now, he said them being flesh of their flesh would make them what? One. Now, with them being one, and he called their name Adam, give me Genesis 3 and 20, I believe.
And Adam called his wife's name Eve because she was the mother of all living.
Give him the word for mother on the house.
Maybe that's mother.
Well, it's Emma, right? Give him the characters for it.
Aleph and Mim.
Aleph and Mim. So give me what you got when you're going to sit back and you're going to look at what the word for mother is, which is Emma. You got Aleph and Mim. And she's the mother of all living. You can share the word living with him on general principle.
Living is Kai. That's living or alive.
So, Aleph and Mim, you give me what you got. Joanne behind you, Doris.
Power of the spirit.
Power of the spirit. No, I'm just trying to, because she's reckless. She's a rebel, a vagabond. What's the other word you call for somebody who's a nomad, a traveler and a pillager? So you got to watch it. He said the strength of the Ruach is forth as being the mother of all living. Now, I'm asking this question. He called Eve the mother of all living, but where would you go beforehand, before Eve, to show forth the mother of all living? Before we get to this statement in Galatians. Matter of fact, go on to Galatians 4, man. Give me verse 20. Tell me what it says.
Said, I desire to be present with you now and to change my voice, for I stand in doubt of you. Tell me that you desire to be under the law. Do you not yet hear the law? For it is written that Abraham had two sons, the one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman. But he of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman by promise. Which things are an allegory, for these are the two covenants. The one from the Mount Sinai, which gendered the bondage, which is Hagar. For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia.
Shalom, Jay.
And answer to Jerusalem, which now is and is in bondage with her children. For Jerusalem, which is above, is free.
Jerusalem, which is above, is what?
Is free.
Come on with it.
Which is the mother of us all.
Which is the what?
The mother of us all.
Now let me ask y'all this question. Did he just say Eve was the mother of us all? So now this thing can take on 2 to 3 different levels of connotation. Let me see. Think of Jacob, the worm, the crimson bug, the stick to the tree and die, bring forth when he looked at the Messiah being Eve in relation to the question. And indeed, I can see why you would say that. Now I want you to come on back to what was that before that? Where you was at before that? No, we good for that for me. I got a headache. That's what I do. Come back to Psalms 127. Shalom, Mother Shalom. Psalms 127.
Say, except Yahuwah build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except Yahuwah keep the city, the watchmen wake in vain.
It is vain for you to do what?
Rise up early.
To do what?
Sit up late.
That man say it's a waste of your time. It's utterly worthless for you to get up early in the morning to stay up all night. Listen what it is say.
To eat the bread of sorrows, so he give his beloved sleep.
Listen.
Lo, son.
Hold on, listen. That's going to come up in a second. Tell him what sleep is, because we just talked about Adam being asleep last night. So we got to stack some more things on top of that.
Say, no, that's sleep.
What you think this mean when you say to eat the bread of sorrows before he give his beloved sleep? Tell him what beloved is on the house.
Your deed, that's one beloved or beloved. Lovely.
Lovely. Bread of sorrows. I take some bread of sorrows for you just on general principle. Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 4.
Then shall you bring forth your stuff by day in their sight, as stuff for removing, and you shall go forth at evening in their sight, as they that go forth into captivity. Dig you through the wall in their sight, and carry out thereby.
Get out that window and put your head in that book.
In their sight shall you bear upon shoulders, carry forth in the twilight, you shall cover your face, that you see not the ground. For I have set you a sign unto the house of Yasharal. And I did so as I was commanded. I brought forth my stuff by day, and stuff from captivity, and in the evening I dig through the wall with my hand. I brought forth in the twilight, bear upon my shoulders in their sight.
Go ahead.
And in the morning came the word of Yahuwah unto me, saying, Son of man, have not the house of Yasharal, the rebellious house, said unto you, what do you? Say you unto them, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, this burden, the prince in Jerusalem, and all the house of Yasharal among them. Say, I am your sign, like as I have done, so shall it be done unto them. They shall remove, go into captivity. And the prince that is among them shall bear upon his shoulder in the twilight. They shall go forth, they shall dig through the wall to carry out thereby. He shall cover his face, that he see not the ground with his eyes. My net also will I spread upon him, and he shall be taken in my snare, and I will bring him to Babylon, to the land of the Chaldeans, yet shall we not see it. Though he shall die there. And I will scatter toward every wind all that about
him. I still ain't hear what I want to hear. Hold on. We're supposed to read where he say, eat your bread with quaking. Yeah, I know I ain't heard it yet. Come on, verse 19. I know, verse 17. I know I ain't heard it.
And moreover, the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, eat your bread with quaking.
Eat your bread with what?
With quaking.
And drink your water with what?
Trembling and with carefulness.
Tell them what carefulness is, man.
That they are God as anxiety,
Worry.
Care.
What, it said anxious care? That what it said?
Anxious care, got fear, heaviness, sorrow.
Tell them what bread that quaking is, man. He said eat that bread with some quaking.
Ra'ash.
They done straighten your hair. And what that is?
That's quaking, rattling, shaking, an earthquake.
An earthquake. Read verse 17 again. Come here, Leah.
Moreover, the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, eat your bread with quaking, and drink your water with trembling and with carefulness.
You have to ask the man about it. Go ahead.
And say unto the people of the land, thus saith Yahuwah Elohim of the inhabitants of Jerusalem, of the land of Yasharal, they shall eat their bread with carefulness and drink their water with astonishment, that her land may be desolate from all that is therein, because of the violence of all them that dwell therein. And the cities that are inhabited shall be laid waste,
Listen.
And the land shall be desolate. You shall know that I am Yahuwah.
That's good, right? So he said that he'll eat the bread of sorrows. What's another place that mentioned bread with something akin to sorrows? Something along with sorrows, but it's just a different word. The bread of affliction. Now keep this in mind. He said when you eat your bread of sorrows, he's going to give you a beloved sleep. Now listen. We just read that Adam was put to sleep and also put to death. Did he not? Now read Psalms 127:3. Put it down, please.
Say, lo, sons, a heritage of Yahuwah, the fruit of the womb, his reward. As the arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are sons of the youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them.
Happy is the man that have his quiver.
They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate.
What you think this means by speaking with the enemies in the gate? Nevertheless, let's go back to what it is, Job 33. We just laid some things down. Now we got to start putting them all together. Let me get to Job 33. Save it. Let's pick this up at Job 33 and verse 14.
For Elohim speak once, yea, twice, yet man perceive it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night.
Pause. He said Elohim speak once, speak twice. What you think that means? What you think that could be in regards to? Shalom, Brother Shaul. I seen that Isaiah 53 Quran. What it, huh? Yeah, remember we read that last night, did we not? Where they say, hey, out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall all matters be established. So let's take it a step further and then go to something that we discussed on Wednesday, and let's hit John 5 and 30. How you want to go sit with Miss Doris? She like you.
I can of my own self do nothing. As I hear, I judge, and my judgment is just, because I seek not my own will, but the will of the Abba which hath sent me. If I bear witness of myself, my witness is not true. There's another that bear witness of me, and I know that the witness which he witnessed of me is true. You sent unto John, and he bare witness unto the truth, but I receive not testimony from man. But these things I say, that you might be saved. He was a burning and shining light, and you were willing for a season to rejoice in his light. But I have greater witness than of John, for the works which the Abba hath given me to finish. The same works that I do bear witness of me.
The same works that I do what?
bear witness of me.
And who? And go ahead.
That the Abba have sent me.
Mm-hmm.
And Abba himself, which hath sent me, have borne witness of me. You have neither heard his voice at any time nor seen his shape. And you have not his word abiding in you. For whom he hath sent, him you believe not.
Mm-hmm.
Search the scriptures for
do what?
Search the scriptures.
So notice, right? He told you, John bear witness of me. He said, my Father bear witness of me. He said, my works bear witness of me. He said, the scripture bear witness of me. Now notice that in Job, he told you what? Elohim speak once, twice, and men perceive it not. So let's take that a step further with men perceiving it not. And let's go to Isaiah chapter 13, about verse 10. I said Isaiah, I meant Matthew. I'm sorry. Matthew chapter 13, about verse 10.
And the disciples came and said unto him, why speak you unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the Malkuth Shamim, but to them it is not given. Whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which said, by hearing you shall hear.
And hearing you shall what?
Shall hear.
And what else?
You shall not understand.
And seeing
you shall see.
And shall not what?
Perceive.
Shall not what?
Perceive.
And shall not what?
Perceive.
What else?
For this people's heart is waxed gross.
And what else?
Ears are dull of hearing. Their eyes they have
Shalom, Brother Craig.
Thus at any time they should see with eyes and hear with ears. They should understand with heart. They should be converted, and I should heal them.
Let's come back to Job 33 and 14. And let's look at that word for perceive.
Sure, that's to see, to behold, to observe, to regard.
To see, to behold, to observe, to regard. Come over here and look at Psalm 62, right? Let's look at Psalm 62, man, in verse 5.
My soul, wait you only upon Elohim.
Wait your soul only upon who?
Elohim, for my expectation from him. He only, my rock and my salvation, my defense, I shall not be moved. And Elohim, my salvation and my esteem, the rock of my strength and my refuge, and Elohim. Trust in him at all times.
Do what?
Trust in him at all times.
Do what?
Trust in him at all times.
Do what?
Trust in him at all times.
Okay.
Pour out your heart before him. Elohim, a refuge for us.
You know, it's funny when before we pulled up here, somebody had shared a reel about a dude. You know, he's saying that how men get ridiculed for being sensitive and things of this nature. And he was like, man, a man should want to let his guard down and be vulnerable with his woman. I understand why people say that, but see, it's the wrong attitude. Because why is the first person you, as a man, that you think about as being vulnerable is with your woman instead of Yahuwah first? Look at what he told you to do. This ain't got nothing to do with her per se. It has to do with the mindset of men in the world. Now, if you don't believe in Yahuwah, then what I'm saying doesn't matter to you. You know what I'm talking about? But for those people, whether they know they Hebrews or Christians, whatever the case may be, the thought process is that you don't do what this man just said right here. Read it again. Psalm 62 and what? 7? Verse 8. Listen to him.
Say, trust in him at all times.
Do what?
Trust in him at all times.
Why?
People, pour out your heart before him. Elohim, a refuge for us.
He's a what for you?
A refuge.
A what for you?
A refuge.
Well, tell him what a refuge is, man. Thank you,
I say that's a refuge, a shelter from rain or storm, from danger.
This is a place of protection. Now, case in point, when Mashiach was going through what he was going through, and we looking at them bread of sorrows and eating that bread with quaking and trembling, where is the first place he went? He went straight to his Father. That's the first place he went. That's not saying that you can't converse with another human being, but if the instance that you talking about, you want to let your guard down for a woman before letting it down for Yahuwah, you already moving butthole backwards. You know what I'm talking about? You're already moving butthole backwards. Because before you went to holler at her, you should have been hollered at the Lord. You should have been did that. That should have been the first person you went to. You know what I'm talking about? If you got it in your mind that the first person you go to is your woman, then you might have in the back of your mind, you looking at her like your mama. You know what I'm talking about? When the first time you got an issue, a problem, a vulnerability, and the first thing you think about is going to her. I'm not talking about you can't go to her. I wouldn't do it personally. You know what I'm talking about? I'm telling you, if that's your first thought and you say you serve Yahuwah. Because if Yahuwah is not the first thought of refuge and safety and peace for you, then you might not be in the faith like you think you is. You know what I'm talking about? That's just being 100% honest with you, man. I don't really No other way to spend that, to work that, or any of that. If you think that's a knock on women, you got a personal problem. Then you probably hate God your doggone self. You know what I'm talking about? Because before you went to any man, woman, or child under earth, you ought to went to Yahuwah first. Because when his apostles was right there, he ain't go talk to them, did it? He went straight to his father. Because sometimes you have to realize that there's just some things that flesh and blood cannot minister to you on. You know what I'm talking about? Before you go to him. That's what people's most biggest problem is. You going to everybody but him. Read verse 8 of Psalm 62 one more time.
Trusting him at all times.
Trusting him in what? When you feel like it?
Trusting him at all times.
When it's going good?
At all times.
Sometimes when it's bad?
At all times.
And do what?
Pour out your heart before him.
Pour out your heart before him.
Elohim, a refuge for us.
That man is a place of safety and shelter for you. You have to know that. You have to believe that. You must needs trust that. Come on with it, sir.
Surely men of low degree vanity, men of high degree a lie. To be laid in the balance, they altogether than vanity.
Vanity.
Trust not in oppression, become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon.
He said, if your money increase, don't set your heart on that.
Elohim has spoken once, twice have I heard this, that power unto Elohim.
Listen what he said. He said, Elohim spoke what?
Once, twice have I heard this.
And what you heard?
That power unto Elohim.
So now this is a two thing, right? We read one where he said, man, don't perceive it. He spoke twice, and the power was with him. Now, how do we look at Elohim speaking twice? Well, he says witness is where? And his record is where? In heaven. So why is this important? Did he not say his father bear witness of him? Did he not say my works bear witness of me? So this is how you see God spoke once, is forth is through the text, spoke twice, is forth is through his deeds, and that the power was with him, and man didn't perceive it. Now let's look at Job 40:1, and let's look at the third witness for this trifecta of this man talking.
Moreover, Yahuwah answered Job and said, shall he that contend with the Almighty instruct?
That man said, tell him what contend means.
Let's read, to strive, to contend.
So tell him what instruct means.
Yesor, a fault finder, reprover, one who reproves.
So you're going to contend with God and then call yourself correcting God? That's what Yahuwah asking Job. Read it again from the top.
Shall he that contend with the Almighty instruct?
He that what?
Reprove Elohim, let him answer.
He said, if you can correct me, open your mouth then.
Then Job answered Yahuwah and said, behold, I am vile. What shall I answer you? I will lay my hand upon my mouth. Once have I spoken, but I will not answer. Yea, twice, but I'll proceed no farther.
See, now Job telling you, I spoke once, spoke twice, I'm going to shut my mouth. You know why? That go back to what we were talking about in Proverbs 30. If you done spoke evil, put your hand over your mouth. Sometimes it's better to hold. Remember what, matter of fact, I think it say that in Ecclesiastes, where you go to talk about, hey, don't say it's a mistake in front of the angel, lest you be destroyed for the words of your mouth. And just go into what every word you speak, you're going to give account for on the day of judgment. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful what you're saying out your mouth. Some people don't care about that. Some people do. So coming back to Job 33, we just need to establish that point. But the two things that we want to establish out of that is Yahuwah spoke twice, Elohim spoke twice. One was power, and two, the people didn't catch it. Read verse 14 one more time in Job 33. Don Joanne.
If Elohim speak once, yea, twice, man perceive it not.
When he talked to him.
In a dream.
And in a what?
A vision of the night.
When what?
Deep sleep fall upon men.
In the where?
Slumbering upon the bed.
Now let's pause. Now we just seen that with Adam, right? He spoke to him when he had slumberings on the bed. That's how he was able to get that prophecy that you would leave your father and mother and you would become one flesh, after he said that woman was what? Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. What did David say when he saw the people? He said they were what? Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. What did Paul say? That mystery of being flesh of my flesh and bone of my bone related to Mashiach and the body. That's what he said, right? And then when he resurrected from the dead, he said a spirit didn't have what? Flesh and bone, as you see me have. When he said that they were flesh and bone, he was telling you, I'm Adam. See, this is what I mean by there's a multitude of different things that testify to Yahushua through Adam, but you're not going to pick up on it because you haven't searched the scriptures. Again, that's another point. He said, search the scriptures, for in them you have what? And they are there that are what? But he didn't tell you he didn't tell you what was testifying of them. He told you to search it out and God will show it to you. When he opened it up to his apostles, it don't tell you what he showed them. So I'm just reiterating that because I hear it a lot. You cannot scholastically study yourself to that information. It has to be revealed from on high. Matter of fact, you read that Matthew 13, read it again. Verse 11, I believe, might be 12. Matthew 13 and 12. You trying to push my cup now?
Verse 11.
Come on. You trying to push
Say, he answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Shalim, but to them it is not given. Whosoever hath, to him shall it be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath.
Go ahead.
Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see, and shall not perceive.
But blessed.
For these people's heart is waxed gross, and ears are dull of hearing. Eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with eyes and hear with ears, and should understand with heart, and should be converted, I should heal them.
Go ahead.
But Baruch your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For truly I say unto you that many prophets and righteous have desired to see those which you see and have not seen.
And notice that everybody don't get to see and hear. He telling you this.
And to hear what you hear and have not heard.
That's good. So now, right, we dealing with slumberings upon the bed. Give them slumberings, man. When it's Job 33 and 15. Give them slumberings.
Shanuma, that's slumberings, or sleep, drowsiness.
You ever been a little drowsy? Huh, Bird? You ever been a little drowsy? So you ain't never been a little drowsy? I have not. Do you even know what it means to be a little drowsy? Then how would you know if you ain't never been drowsy? So you just say something, just to say it. You think that's a wise thing to do? Then why would you do it? Very well, sir. Have you ever been drowsy? You don't know what it means to be drowsy? You look just like his mama. You know what it means to be drowsy, boy? What it mean? Drive a car. That's driving, not drowsy.
And you got the washing in the car.
That's driving, not drowsy. You know what it means to be drowsy, son?
Be quiet.
King, you ever been drowsy? You don't know? Leah, you ever been drowsy? Huh? Muffin, you ever been drowsy? All y'all been drowsy. Because when y'all be drowsy, you don't know how to act. Drowsy, when you're drowsy, you're lousy. Your attitude. You were drowsy last night. Yeah, you were. You were. You drowsy every day. You been drowsy. Dora say she drowsy all the time. Say she got to go in the people's house, she get tired immediately. I do. I get it now. I'm tired. I'm already ready to go to sleep. I don't even want to be here. To be drowsy is to be tired. Falling asleep. You ever fell asleep before?
Yeah.
That's what it means to be drowsy. Sleeping. How many of y'all don't act right when you sleep? All of you. Let's look at verse 16 of Job 33.
Then he opened the ears of men and sealed their instruction.
Pause. He said he opens up the ears of men to seal their instruction when they're on the beds of their slumbering. Go ahead and slide them instruction if you would. Malia, you be drowsy?
Musar, discipline, correction.
Discipline. You get discipline upon your bed. Now, when we go back and look at Adam, when he was put upon his bed, what discipline was he given? That a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife and they should become one flesh. See, you thinking this discipline is pertaining to something natural when it was telling you the discipline of that which was to come. We kind of read it already earlier. He said, I didn't come down to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me. And what was the will of him that sent him? I give you the opposite. Adam didn't do the will. Adam did the will of Yahuwah through Yahushua HaMashiach, but it wasn't the Father's will for Adam to do it. And what was that? Adam actually did the will of Elohim, but it wasn't Adam's place to do it. Because he died for the sins of his wife. That's the fulfilling of the will of Elohim, but that wasn't Adam's duty to pull that off. Which is why there was a consequence for Adam doing it versus a reward for Mashiach doing it. You understand what I'm saying? Because he did the will of God as forth as the land being slain from the foundation of the world, but that's not the will that he wanted Adam to do for Adam. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want Adam to die in this regard. And how do we know he didn't want Adam to die? What did he say to him? Jeremiah James Bird. So you don't know? So how do you propose that we rectify this? Guess we about to find out what rectify means, aren't we? That's right. He told him not to eat from the tree. Why did he tell him not to eat from the tree, Jeremiah James Bird? I appreciate that. Michael, do you know why he told him not to eat from the tree? What you sucking your teeth for? You ain't no woman. I understand. Joy, do you know why he told him not to eat from the tree of life? Why? No, I'm saying why. Why did he tell him not to eat it? Not what he told him, but why. No, man. Yes, Bill Bible study. What's what mean? Oh, why did he tell him not to eat from it? Oh, that means there's a reason. When he told him not to eat from the tree, there's a reason why he told him not to eat from it.
No reason for you to get out.
You understand? Okay. Yes, sir. Yes.
Hey, bro, be quiet, bro.
Knowledge. No, knowledge is not evil. It was a tree of knowledge of good and evil. So knowledge is not evil unless it's evil knowledge. See, knowledge is just information. Now, whether the information is good or evil depends on the knowledge. But knowledge by itself is not evil. So, children, go ahead. Yeah. Come on, Grandma, come up here so I can hear you. Go ahead, baby.
Because
the eyes were open. Do you know what happened when their eyes were open? They did, but do you know what that means when their eyes were open? Are your eyes open? Are you sure? What can you see? Are you sure? What if I'm not here and it's just a hologram? Okay. Yes, King. He did, but do you know why they would die? No, I mean it's a fact that might have been something that y'all just didn't catch. The adults know the answer, but I want to see if y'all know it. It was a sin for them to do it, but do you know why they died? Huh? No, I just can't hear you. That's all. Because they ate the sin. They couldn't eat it. That's correct. But no, this here. Nobody can make you do anything. Come on, listen. I didn't understand nothing you said. So. He does. He does. We live on the earth. Yes. No, you don't. But I'm glad that you believe that you do. So, children, the reason being why he told them what would happen to why is because now, when Adam was made, Adam wasn't a sinner. Do you know what the law is for? Because the tree of knowledge of good and evil is the law. You know who the law is made for? Yes. Yes, the law is made for sinners. So when he told them not to eat from it, it's because they were not a sinner. So you don't need this information. Once you receive this information, that's why their eyes were open, because now they know evil. See, when y'all were born, y'all didn't know no evil. All you knew was to cry and poop. You know what I'm saying? But as you get older, you begin to learn evil, because I've seen all of you tell lies. Except for King, probably. I haven't observed him tell no lie. I can't put that evil on him. I done seen you lie. I done seen you. I done seen you. I done seen Muffin. I definitely seen Leah. I done seen you lie several times. I done seen you lie also. Now you just brought light on yourself. You could have skated away.
Be quiet, bro.
I'm just saying that because you live in a world where there's knowledge of good and evil. So see, he made man upright, but man, God bless Brother Smoke, but man seek out many inventions. So because of that being in the world, you have the ability to learn that, act on that. You know what I'm talking about? I've seen several of you talk back. That's dishonoring your parents. See, that's in the law. That's against the law. See, the law says you're supposed to honor your parents. See, that disrespect you do? See, your flake's supposed to be on the floor. You're just supposed to be walking around with tendons and bones. Because the skin of your face should be on the floor. Because somebody slapped it off. Mainly the Lord. You ever been slapped by the Lord?
Yes.
That's unfortunate for you.
But what happens when
You ain't gonna like it.
you not like it?
I can tell you that. It's gonna be way worse than any whooping you ever got. Yeah, he slap you, your whole face burning off. No, you're gonna be alive with no face, and it's just gonna burn over and over and over again. You're gonna have a lot of things, because when Yahuwah come slap you, it's gonna be wailing and gnashing of teeth. You know what I'm talking about? It's gonna be a smoke that burns forever and ever. Worms gonna be eating at your body, and you can never get out of that pit.
Which kind of it?
Oh, it's too late to cry to Yahuwah if you make it in that place, baby. It's too late. You should have been crying to Yahuwah long before you got there. Long before you got there. That's for people who don't obey Yahuwah. So it's better to obey. But one of the things that he told you not to do was to not disrespect your parents. Get it for them, Civic, for the children to know, man. Exodus 20, I can't recall the verse. About 20 and 5, 20 and 6, I don't remember.
Verse 12.
20 and 12. Exodus 20 and 12.
It say, honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahuwah your Elohim gives you.
Now tell them what honor means. That's right. Brother Brandon say evil has an expiration date. You ever had some milk that spoiled? Well, that's what's gonna happen if you do evil. One day your butt gonna spoil.
That's kabod, to be heavy, to be weighty, to be grievous, to be hard, to be rich, to be honorable, to be esteemed, to be honored.
To be honored, to be respected. Your parents are to be respected. Now, if you don't want to respect your parents, you see what that is? Can anybody tell me what that is right there? Right there. Yeah, right there. What you say that is, Bird?
I didn't say anything.
Yes, King. What is that right there? That means you can get your black behind out of it and go live somewhere else. Yeah, that's what that means. Read that again so they can see that there, man. That's the first promise you ever made. You would say, hey, man, well, not the first promise. That's the promise. That's a law that has a promise of life attached to it. Probably the only law in the law that got the promise of life attached to it. If you honor your parents, you live longer. If you dishonor your parents, you cut your days short. You'll be dead at 20. Then you're going to get up and go stand before Yahuwah, and you're going to die again. And why would you want to do that? Now, most of y'all ain't disrespectful. You're just prideful and arrogant in your brain because you got it set that you want to do what you want to do. I'm not gonna say that any of y'all are any rude, just disrespectful, repugnant little bastards. You're just hard-headed and you don't listen. You know what I'm talking about? For the majority of you just don't listen. You have it set in your mind, you want to do something. Or when you can't get your way, y'all like to cry and whine like somebody kept. But that's normal children stuff, you know. That's not outside. That's not outside the norm. None of y'all don't do nothing outside the norm. Come on, man.
Honor your father and your mother that your days may be long upon the earth, upon the land which Yahuwah
Now,
Elohim
Paul,
gives
you got a Bible in front of you. I want you to read it out loud. Exodus 20 and 12 with haste. Come on, Jeremiah James Bird. You got one in front of you. I want you to read it out loud to me. Exodus 20 and 12. Your daddy gonna get you right, little Bible study. You next. Come on, son. Come on, Bird. He got you, man. He gonna help you.
Honor thee, father, and thee, mother, and that these days may be long upon the land which the Lord thee God giveth.
Very good, son. Very good. Come on, Michael. Which one of y'all children behind that couch got a Bible in your hand? Because if you got one, come on up to the front because you're going to read it too. Come on, Michael. Exodus 20 and 12. Oh, since you want to point people out and wave, you can come with her because you're going to read it out the same thing she did. Yeah, that's how that works. Come on now, tighten up. You know what Exodus 20 and 12, but you playing games. Come on, read it out loud. You ain't got to get on the camera and do it. Leah, that wasn't a suggestion. She got it in the hand. You can read off of hers. Now, come on now. Y'all talk louder than that on general principle.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy given you.
Get Leah. Come on, Leah. Exodus 20 and 12, read the same thing.
Honor the father and the mother, that their days may be long upon the land which the Lord God giveth you.
Okay, go sit down. Come on, little Bible study. Yeah. I already know it. That's why I told him that. I said he's gonna help you out. You gonna do it by yourself, or you want me to help you? Come on, you ready? Let's see. Right there, you ready? Say honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy God give you. Good job. Good job. Come on, Michael.
And lawful life, the land God has given you.
Get the Joy and let her read it. Get her book and let her read it. Come on, Joy. Exodus 20 and 12, Joy. Come on, King.
Honor your father and your mother, and you will live a long, full life in the land the Lord your God has given you.
Very good, Joy. Come on, Chris. Where the rest of them at? Which one? Come on here, Malia. I know you know how to read. Come on. Okay, come on, Malia. Let me see that book, son. You need help? Come on, man. You ready? Say honor your father and mother. Then you will live a long, full life in the land Yahuwah, your God, is giving you. Very good. Come on here, Elizabeth. I want you to read verse 12, Renee. You got to speak up now. Right there. But you don't know how to read? So I need you to read that for me, Renee. Oh, you don't know what that word is. Okay, honor. Go ahead. Very good. Thank you. You see that? Ah, shoot. Praise you. Who left? Who over there? Little bug, don't be pointing nobody out. Sit down, son. I know you right there. Come here, Abigail. I don't see nothing funny.
Stand by.
Come on, Abby. You need help? Come on. Say honor thy father and thy mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahuwah, your Elohim, give you. Very good. Come on here, Eugene. Come on, Grandma. Oh, Grandma, you was ready. Come on, Grandma. You need help, Grandma? Come on. Say honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahuwah, your Elohim, give you. Give you. Very good. Come on. Come on, King. You ready? Come on, man. Let me see what you got for me. Take your time.
You gotta see this.
Where you at? That's right, maybe. Okay, take your time. There you go.
Upon the land which the Lord that
Bye.
thy God give
You.
you.
It's a thee, but it's mean the same. Good job. Come on, Christian. Go ahead. You read it. Verse 12, Exodus 20 and 12.
Yeah.
There you go.
Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long and upon the land which the Lord thy God
Good job. Good job. Good job. That's good. You good. That's all you had to read. Good job. That's everybody, ain't it? Oh, you want to read too, little Stanley? Come on, son. I seen you reading the other day, boy. You need some help? Or you can do it yourself? Oh, okay. So you don't need no help. Come on, son. You ready? Right here, son. Right. Oh, he ain't focused. Right here. Let's stand right there. Say honor thy father. Very good. Good job. Good job.
Why did you do
Good job. Good job. I didn't read that on his own. Good job. For a pawn, he said open, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Shalom, Sister Kelly. So y'all understand what that means, children? What you ought to do? Yes. Oh, come on, you two. Okay. Say honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy God gives thee. Good job. So children, so what does that mean you ought to do? It means that you ought to do what? Honor your father and your mother. All y'all got a mama, don't you? All y'all got a daddy, don't you? So guess what that means you ought to do, children? You know what happens when you honor your father and your mother? That means you honoring Yahuwah. You know what happens when you don't honor your father and your mother, children? That's right, Stanks. Then you're not honoring Yahuwah. So who wants to not honor Yahuwah? So that means you would want to honor your parents, would you not, children? I don't mean around here sucking your teeth and running your mouth. Be obedient, children. Also, we also know for the adults, that don't mean talk to your children or do them any kind of way. I think that's in Colossians. See if they get it for me. Colossians 4 and 1, I believe. Little Ruthie. Little Ruth.
Masters, give unto servants that which is just and equal, knowing that you also have a master in Shamayim. Continue in prayer and watching the same with thanksgiving.
Okay, it's 3 and 18. Shalom, bro. Colossians 3 and 18.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as it is fit in the Lord.
Husbands,
love wives
and be what?
Not bitter against them.
And be not what?
Bitter against them.
Children.
Obey parents in all things.
And what things?
All things.
That means listen to your parents and what they tell you to do, unless they're telling you to sin against Yahuwah.
For this is well pleasing unto the Lord.
Father, see that? Oh, you heard that, children? It's well pleasing unto the Lord when you obey your parents. Listen.
Fathers, provoke not your sons.
But fathers, don't provoke your sons to what?
Anger.
Lest they what?
Be discouraged.
Listen, the last thing you want to do is provoke your children, man, and then they get angry, they be bitter against you. Y'all done seen it in real life. You know how it works. That ain't what you're supposed to do as a man. You ain't supposed to provoke them. You're supposed to guide them and instruct them. You know what I'm saying? That's two different things. But let's get back on track. Let's go back to Genesis 2 and 20 and read that again. I think that's what I'm yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Come on with it. Genesis 2 and 20, man. We'll get back on track. We just had to do that pause, everybody, because I'm sure we're looking at me crazy.
Saying Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowls of the air and to every beast of the field, but for Adam there was not found a helpmeet for him. Yahuwah Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and clothed with the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Yahuwah Elohim had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Let's come back to Job 33 and verse 14 one more time. Remember, we talking about Elohim spoke twice, and two things happened with man. Man didn't perceive it, and man understood that he had the power. Remember that Elohim spoke to man twice, because the Father spoke once through the text, and the Son spoke through his works. They both bear witness to the same thing, showing that Elohim of Yasharal, the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is true, and that all men ought to humble themselves and serve. You understand? Come on with it. For Elohim speak once, yea, twice, yet man perceived it not.
Mm-hmm.
In a dream and a vision of the night, when deep sleep fall upon men and slumberings upon the bed, then he opened the ears of men and sealed their instruction.
So upon the bed is when he opened man's ears and sealed their instruction. Do we want to take it a step further, man, with the Proverbs 7? We ain't talked about Proverbs 7 in a long time. Let's talk about Proverbs 7 this evening. Give me Proverbs 7:10, man. I believe that's what it is.
And behold, there met him a woman, the attire of a harlot.
The attire of a what?
Of a harlot.
A harlot, a whore.
And subtle of heart.
Hold on, man. Back me up to verse 7. She was a whore.
And beheld among the simple ones.
That's why, because I want you to hear what he say. Back me up. Then go to verse 1. I want you to hear how Solomon described it, right? Because see, I'm going to tell you something. Then go what I told you last night. It's a lot of simple niggas out here. She look good. You're thinking with your wee-wee. It's going to cost you your life. You know what I'm talking about? It's a lot of dudes called AIDS for doing very what he talking about. It's a lot of dudes that got caught slipping in a woman's house and got killed. Whether that was her man or in his mind, he was still her man. Because you were thinking with your wee-wee. Hush your mouth. Go ahead.
Say, my son, keep my words and lay my commandments with you. Keep my commandments and live. And my law is the apple of your eye.
That's right.
Bind them upon your fingers, write them upon the table of your heart.
Come on.
Say unto wisdom, you, my sister, and call understanding your kinswoman.
He said, call wisdom your what?
Your sister.
And understanding your what?
Kinswoman.
That means let them be related to you. They related to you. That means that you are the same flesh and blood when it comes to that, man. But that's another conversation. We talked about that years ago. We ain't gonna talk about that today. Come on.
That they may keep you from the strange woman and from the stranger.
See that here? Wisdom and understanding to keep you from a slut. And now when he telling you a strange woman, he talking about a Gentile woman. But it also in this aspect, it's gonna keep you from a whore. Notice I ain't say a woman. Notice I didn't say a lady. I said a whore. So if you heard whore and you thought that was talking about all women, that tell me you a whore or you a whore lover. Cause we not talking about women. We talking about whores. There's a difference. Y'all do know the book of Proverbs say a whore is a deep pitch. Men get caught up in it and fall to the grave. There's a difference between a lady and a whore. And if you are over 30 and you don't know the difference between a lady and a whore, then you need to go find your granddaddy, your uncles, and your daddy. Y'all need to sit down and have a conversation because you too damn old not to know the difference between a lady and a whore. Too old. I can see if you didn't know in your 20s. You're inexperienced. But once you hit 30, you should know the difference between a lady and a whore. They walk different. They talk different. They move different. Hell, they smell different. You know what I'm talking about? Whores got a pungent odor that eats off of their body from the mixing of DNA with so many different people. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even being funny. When I say a pungent odor, I'm talking about pheromones, man. I'm not talking about like, oh, she funky and stank. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about the natural secretions of a body that everybody possesses. Somebody who's been with a lot of men, she got a different odor. Come on with it, man.
Say that they may keep you from a strange woman, from the stranger, which flatter with her words.
That flatter with her what?
With her words.
That's one of the first things you ought to pay attention to. Woman come flattering with her words, she might be a hoe, man. See, I know a lot of brothers get caught up that because don't nobody compliment you a lot. Nobody don't tell you you're handsome. Don't nobody tell you your outfit looked good and your shoes was nice. You know what I'm talking about? Or you're driving a nice car. So when they come and tell you, ooh, you fine, you get all, yeah. See, you were done it. You should already knew you were handsome before you walked out the door. You should already knew you were fresh before you walked out the door. Not on no arrogant stuff, but just as a simple matter of fact. Man, let me tell you something, man. You supposed to already know that. You ain't supposed to feel no pride because she told you you look good. You're not supposed to feel no pride with that, especially if you know you riding clean and doing what. Man, one thing, most of us poke. So ain't none of us never pulled up and with no V12 up under the hood, man. You know what I'm talking about? With something that come from another country. And you thinking them women running up on you because you handsome. She running up on you because you're in the Benz, son. I told you that before when I was with my homeboy. We was at after 11 in the light. He like this here, man. You ain't gonna spit no game to them hoes. I say, one, I ain't driving. I say, spit game for them for what? They walked up because we in the STS, nigga. To tell them to get in. If that's what you're on, I'm not gonna be wasting my time talking to you. You act like these women came over here because they thought we was just the greatest looking men in the world. They walked up because we in a Cadillac, nigga. Now, if I knew this at 20 years old and this nigga was older than me, how the hell you don't know? These women are ready to violate their bodies and do God knows what because you riding in a Cadillac. She don't know you. You know what I'm talking about? She might not even think you attractive. She thinks she got an opportunity to come up because you in a Cadillac. You could be in a rented car, be broke as hell. Y'all see them doggone videos these niggas be doing them gold digger pranks. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, you rented that Lambo. That's not your car. That's not your car. But guess what? You see how the women run back every time, whether it's staged or not. See, that's not a lady, that's a whore. You know how you know that's not a lady? Because a lady wouldn't give a damn if you was in the Lambo or not. If she wasn't interested in you, she'd keep on going. You jumping in a Lambo truck or a Lamborghini period or a Porsche is not gonna make her say, oh, I need to talk to him. Because nigga, I didn't like you beforehand, and this car's not gonna change that. So when she come back, you know this a whore. But also them dudes in the videos lame. I done told you this before. When you walk up to a woman, man, and you keep trying to talk to her and she telling you she don't want to talk to you, then you a goofy. You a goofy. Of course she gonna turn back around when you jump in the car because she feel like you got some money. You try to approach her, and now she feel like you gonna have to pay for my time because I don't like you. Yeah, that's what you gonna have to do. I don't like you, nigga. But since you trying to get my attention with your automobile, I'm gonna tax you. I'm gonna tax you. Yeah, you're gonna have to take me shopping. You're gonna have to do this for me because I don't like you. One of them dudes in the video, this nigga looking like Larry Holmes, flabby and sick. Talking about you look like a vibe. What grown man approaching a woman talking about you look like a vibe? How many of y'all would talk to a nigga who walked up to you and say, hey, you look like a vibe? You be like, this goofy nigga here, man. And you gonna be like, please get out my face. Please. I don't know who told him to tell a woman that. Don't y'all be walking up to the woman talking about you look like a vibe. You played yourself. You ever had somebody walk up to you and say something like that? How would you feel if Civic would have walked up to you and said, hey, you look like a vibe? She said, luckily that didn't happen, so I can't imagine it. That's what it's supposed to say. I can't imagine. Because in her mind, she'd be like, boy, if that nigga walked up to me talking about you look like a vibe, he'd have ruined it. You know, it's a lot of dudes could have got them some coochie and talked themselves right up out of it. As soon as they went to talking, she like, damn, he can't get none now. I'm gone. That's what happens when you walk up to a woman and say you look like a vibe. Come on, man.
For at the window of my house, I looked through my casement and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding.
Y'all ever looked at y'all window? I don't know. You live in the projects? No, I'm being serious. So you ever looked at your window and be like, damn, look at all these stupid children out here. No, I'm talking about like you ain't like looking for them, but you just happen to look out the window and behold, that nigga that's finna do something stupid. You can see it in the face. You know what I'm talking about. You can see it in the face. You be like, damn, that nigga finna do something stupid. And you just watch it to see how it's gonna play out. And then you be like, damn, he did it too. I ain't talking about if you're outside with him. You know what I'm saying? But this is what Solomon is saying. I looked out my window and I behold the simple ones, and I happened to spot a young man. He was void of understanding. And now he finna give you, in the narration in all nigga movies, it's always somebody narrating the story. He ain't directly involved. He just telling the story. You know what I'm talking about? Come on with it, man.
Passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house.
He said he did what now?
Went the way to her house.
No, back me up. I missed it. I was looking at what Zoe said. He said them cornball skits. Go ahead.
Passing through the street near her corner, and he went the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night.
See, that's when they grabbed the Lord in the twilight in the evening. In the dark night, he passing through the street. He looking like, ooh, I'm going to go to her house. Listen what the hoe say.
And behold, there met him a woman, the attire of a harlot.
The attire of a what?
Of a harlot.
Of a whore.
And subtle of heart.
Paul, she was what?
Subtle of heart.
She was what?
Subtle of heart.
Tell him what subtle means.
Nasar. To guard, to watch, to keep over, or to watch over. Subtle.
Y'all know who else was subtle and hard? That serpent. That's one of the things you have. He said that serpent was subtle than any beast in the field. So what that tell you about a whore? She's subtle. She's slick with it. She running game. She trying to take you down. Also, that show you the aspects of the children of Yasharal on the day that the Lord died. They were subtle in heart, and they had on the apparel of a harlot. See, back in the days, the apparel of a harlot wasn't necessarily her with her titties out. Remember with Tamar, she had on prostitute clothes. Prostitute clothes in antiquity didn't mean that your booty cheeks and your titties was hanging out. You just dressed a little different than everybody else. They knew who was a prostitute and who wasn't. See, now you don't know who a prostitute is because everybody titties out. Everybody booty cheeks out. Everybody thighs out. Everybody birth canal out. You don't know who. Hell, these hoes wear drawers outside. That's how bad it is. These hoes wear tennis shoes and drawers outside. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I can't speak on that. You can look it up though. I'm not sure. And you can see if we can find out on it. They might have, because I'm not sure. Just look and see what you find. I'm not sure. I can't speak on it. But now she talking about like in Europe during that Renaissance era, the women were a little different, so that you could pick out who was a whore and who wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, in most societies, there was always a difference between the whores and the non-whores, so that you knew who you was dealing with. See, now in this present day modern society, you don't know who's a hoe.
It might not be a Renaissance era when she was. I know that it sounds like a toe rings and ankles and all that.
Oh yeah, that was whole time. Yeah, that was whole time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, them anklets and all that stuff, rings in your face and all in your mouth. That was whore attire in a different day and time. Now that's just regular lady attire. I ain't gonna lie, that's still probably whore attire. You walk around, got a chick, got a tongue ring, boy, you know what she like to do. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't godly, I can tell you that. Come on, son.
It says she is loud and stubborn.
She's what?
Loud and stubborn.
So there's another aspect of a whore. She's subtle, she's loud, and she's stubborn. And guess what Yasharal was? Loud, stubborn, and subtle. Come on.
Her abide not in her house.
She don't stay at her own house, so she busybody. She always in other people's business.
Now in the streets and lie in wait at every corner.
She lie in wait. Look at who she made devour.
So she caught him and kissed him with an impudent face.
And guess what Judas did? Caught him and did what to him? Kissed him. Come on.
Peace offerings with me. This day have I paid my vows.
I paid my vows. They paid Judas, didn't they?
Therefore came I forth to meet you diligently to seek your face, and I found you.
I found you. I was looking. Look at that's what a hoe always tell you. I was looking for you, and now I found you. Baby, you were looking for whoever was gonna hit this corner.
I decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt.
Fine linen of what?
Of Egypt.
That's what they buried him in, didn't it? Come on.
I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon.
Didn't he get anointed with oils? I perfumed that bed now.
Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning.
Listen what this hoe finna say.
Let us solace ourselves with love.
Listen to this hoe.
For the good man not at home.
My husband ain't home.
He has gone a long journey.
He gonna be a long time before he come back.
He had taken a bag of money with him.
He took some money with him all. He definitely ain't coming back. No
Come
time.
home at the day appointed.
At the day what?
At the day appointed.
That's the same thing with the Lord. He coming back at the day appointed.
With her much fair speech, she calls him to yield.
With a much fair what?
Speech. She calls him to yield.
That's why you ain't supposed to be getting caught up with that fair speech, man. You know what I'm talking about? That flattery of the tongue will get you done.
With the flattering of her lips, she forced him.
Tell him what force means. Leduc.
Nadak, to impel, to thrust, to drive away, to banish.
To impel or to incite. Not that she literally forced him.
Oh, compel.
She persuaded him. He went for what she was saying. This is what that Ecclesiastes 7 mean when it say, I find more bitter than death the woman. For her hands are like snares and nets, and her hands are like bands. Or her heart is like snares and nets, and her hands are like bands. And whoso please Elohim shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. You know what I'm talking about? But see, because that bitterness in that Ecclesiastes 7:26, you can look at that naturally, or you can look at how we finna look at it. It's twofold. It can be that whore of Babylon, or it can be Yasharal, because her hearts was like snares and nets, and her hands like bands, and he that knew no sin became sin and got taken by her. But then also, he pleased God, and he escaped from her from the resurrection of the dead. It's all how you look at it. Come on with it. Come on, Don Jordan.
He go after her straightway as an ox go to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of
He
the
go
stock.
after a straight leg like an ox go to the what?
To the slaughter.
And what else?
A fool to the correction of the stocks.
Didn't it say stripes are for a fool's back? Don't it say we fools for a Mashiach's sake? Because for most people, it would be utterly foolish to die for a whore. He did it, though. To produce sons for his father. Let that be known. Come on.
Till a dart strike through his liver.
Didn't he get hit in his liver?
As a bird hastes to the snare, and know not that is for his life.
He don't know it for his life.
Hearken unto me now, therefore, O you sons, and attend to the words of my mouth.
Listen to me.
Let not your heart decline to her ways, go not astray in her path.
Don't go fooling with these bald-headed scallywags.
For she hath cast down many wounded, yea, many strong have been slain by her.
Look here, right? He said she done cast down many what?
Wounded.
And many what?
Strong.
I want you to look at something, man. Come over here to Luke 12, I believe. It might be Luke 11. I'm going to show you an example of something. Real quick, like. Yeah. Luke 11, man. Verse 45. Read that. I want you to read that Proverbs 7, call out the verse, and then right after that, go right over here to Luke 11, 45 and see how they link. Don Joanne.
This is verse 26 in Proverbs.
Proverbs 7 to 26. Listen what he say.
For she hath cast down many wounded.
She's cast down many who?
Wounded.
Many who?
Many wounded.
And what else?
Yea, many strong have been slain by her.
Now look at this Luke 11 and 45. Listen what it say.
Then answered one of the lawyers and said unto him, Master, thus say you, reproach us also? And he said, Woe unto you, you lawyers, for you laid men with burdens grievous to be borne. And you yourselves touch not the burdens with one of your fingers. Woe unto you, for you build the sepulchres of the prophets, and your fathers killed them.
Your fathers what?
Killed them. Truly you bear witness that you allow the deeds of your fathers, for they indeed killed them, and you build their sepulchres.
Therefore,
also said the wisdom of Elohim, I will send them prophets.
And what? And some of them
they shall slay and persecute.
That the blood
of all the prophets which were shed from the foundation of the world may be required of this generation.
From the blood of Abel
unto the blood of Zechariah,
which perished
between the altar and the temple.
Truly,
I say unto you, it shall be required of this generation.
You see how that Yasharal there? Who killed all the men he talking about right here? That wasn't no Gentiles. That was Yasharal killed all the men right there. Let's come on back to Proverbs chapter 7. Because when you remember, right, by means of a whorish woman, what happened? Man brought to a piece of bread. Oh, you thought that was just a regular woman. Proverbs 7:26, one more time. Matter of fact, read 24 again, Ruthie.
Say, hearken unto me now, therefore, O you sons, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not your heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths. For she hath cast down many wounded, yea, many strong have been slain by her.
Her house,
the way to hell,
going down,
to the chambers of death.
That's why you got to be careful. Whether it's that a spiritual whore or a real whore, you better be careful. They'll kill you dead. They'll take your whole soul away. Whole soul away. But of course, you see that this is representative of something else. Let's come back to Job 33. Let's look at verse 17.
That he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man.
He keep back his soul
from the pit
and his life.
From the perishing by the sword.
He is also chastened.
Also with pain upon his bed.
The multitude of his
bones with strong.
So that his life abhorred.
Bread and his soul dainty meat.
Remember, he wouldn't take the vinegar and all that stuff from it, didn't it? Let's go.
His flesh is consumed away that it cannot be seen.
His bones
were not seen, stick out.
Yea, his soul.
Draw near unto the grave.
His life.
To the destroyers.
If there be a messenger.
With him an interpreter, one among 1,000, to show unto man his uprightness.
Remember, then.
He is merciful unto him, and said, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom.
Give me ransom by definition.
Confer price of a life.
Price of a life. We talked about the price of a life in the Leviticus that we got to return to. Listen to the next thing he said. Did he say his flesh
shall be fresher than a child?
Tell him what fresher is, man.
Utafash, rutafash, that's to grow fresh, to be grown fresh, to be rejuvenated.
To be grown fresh, to be rejuvenated. How can a man's flesh be rejuvenated like a child? Now, when he turn around and he tell you, he shall return to the days of his youth, what does that mean? I'll allow it. But born again, what is the days of his youth? It's be just like it was in Adam. Because that's the days of your youth. But since he said to be born again, let's go to John 3:1 before we go to Leviticus 25.
There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Yahudim. The same came to Yahushua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher come from Elohim. No man can do these miracles that you do except Elohim be with him. Yahushua answered and said unto him, Truly, truly, I say unto you, except a man be born again, he cannot see the Malkuth of Elohim.
Unless he be what?
Born again.
Unless he be what?
Born again.
He can't what?
See the Malkuth of Elohim. Nicodemus said unto him, How can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? Yahushua answered, Truly, truly, I say unto you, except a man be born of water and the Ruach,
he cannot
enter into the Malkuth of Elohim. That which is born of the flesh,
that's right, Quran,
is flesh. That which is born of the Ruach is Ruach. Marvel not that I said unto you, you must be born again. The wind blow where it lists, and you hear the sound thereof, but cannot tell whence it comes and where it goes. So is everyone that is born of the Ruach. Nicodemus answered and said unto him, How can these things be? Yahushua answered and said, Are you a master of Yasharal and know not these things?
You a teacher amongst these people and you don't know this stuff?
Truly, truly, I say unto you, we speak that we do know and testify that we have seen, and you receive not our witness.
That's good. Let's return back to Leviticus 25, man. Pick it up at verse 10.
And you shall hallow the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout the land unto all the inhabitants.
Shalom, Brother Ernest.
It shall be a jubilee unto you. You shall return every man into his possession. And you shall return every man into his family. A jubilee shall the 50th year be unto you.
You shall not what?
So
neither what?
Reap
that which?
Grow of itself.
Not nor gather.
The grapes in of your vine undressed.
For it is the jubilee.
It shall be Kadash unto you. You shall eat the increase thereof out of the field.
In the year of this jubilee.
You shall return every man into his possession.
And if you sell.
All unto your neighbor.
Or buy.
Of your neighbor's hand.
You shall not.
Oppress one another.
According.
To the number of years after the jubilee, you shall buy of your neighbor.
According
unto the number of years of the fruits he shall sell unto you.
According to the multitude
of years, you shall increase the price thereof.
According to the fewness
of years, you shall diminish the price of it.
To the number
of the fruits do he sell unto you.
You shall not therefore oppress
one another,
for you shall fear
your Elohim. For I, Yahuwah, your Elohim.
Wherefore you shall do my
statutes and keep my judgments and do them. You shall dwell in the land.
And the land will do what?
Safety. And the land shall yield her fruit. You shall eat your fill and dwell therein.
Notice he said the land will yield her fruit. You do know the land ain't yielding no fruit right now. Come on, man. Read verse 20.
And if you shall say, what shall we eat the 7th year? Behold, we shall not sow nor gather in our increase. Then I'll command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years.
Notice. He say, if you say, what do we eat in the 7th? I'll give you enough fruit for 3 years to cover you for that time period. Now let's look at this right here, right, on in the spiritual aspect. When we look at it effectively, how long has the Lord been gone? So if he's been gone for about 2,000 years effectively, how many days he's been gone? So if we look at that in 2 days and we look at it from the standpoint for us to heaven, once he hit 3,000 years, if you would, if you wanted to look at it in that perspective, you know what I'm talking about? He gave us enough fruit to maintain 3 days until the Jubilee over with. What fruit did he give us? You know what to read. Galatians 5:22. Because remember, what is Jubilee about? It's about freedom, right? So in that year, that Sabbath of rest and that year of freedom, you know what I'm talking about? He said he gonna make sure you straight. Well, look what he done gave you in your year of freedom, that you can eat the fruit of the land that maintain you.
So, but the fruit of the Ruach is love, joy, shalom, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
You don't think you'd be able to maintain off that fruit of the land? We already talked about how he came up out of the dead, how Jerusalem is the mother of us all. How is she the mother of us all? Because that's where he resurrected from the dead from, showing how he would be representative of Eve and being the mother of all living. Or how Jerusalem is representative of Eve, of being the mother of all living. Because everybody who, matter of fact, in Isaiah chapter 4, right, about verse 3 or verse 4, it say that everybody who's written amongst the living in Jerusalem. See, living Jerusalem, or New Jerusalem, is not going to be a place for the dead. Do you know, Doris, why it won't be a place for the dead? Why New Jerusalem won't be a place for the dead? It ain't really that. You ain't got to overthink it. It's really simple. Place of purity, because won't no sinners be there. When you got sinners, you got death. It won't be a place of, that's why it won't be a place of death. That's why to be the mother of all living in the city of the living and be written that those who were written among the living, because nothing that commits sin will dwell in that city. See, Zephaniah 3 tell you about that. Get it for him, man. Zephaniah 3 and 9.
But then will I turn to the people of pure language, that they may call upon the name of Yahuwah to serve him with one consent. From beyond the rivers of Ethiopia, my suppliants, the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring my offering. In that day shall you not be ashamed for all your doings, wherein you have transgressed against me. But then I will take away out of the midst of you them that rejoice in your pride.
He said, everybody who rejoices in their pride, I'm taking them away.
You shall no more be haughty because of my Kadash mountain.
You will no longer be proud because of Jerusalem.
I will also leave in the midst of you an afflicted and poor people.
I'm going to leave amongst you a humble people.
And they shall trust in the name of Yahuwah.
They will trust in the name of Yahuwah.
The remnant of Yasharal shall not do iniquity.
Won't do no iniquity.
Nor speak lies.
Nor speak lies.
Nor shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make afraid.
See, that place there going to be pure. You're not coming up in there with that.
They sing, O daughter of Zion.
That's good. That's why this is the place of the living. And you know why it's also a place of the living? Give me Matthew chapter 20, man. Make sure that's the right place I want. Since we're talking about it. No, it ain't Matthew 20. It's Matthew 22. 22 and 29.
Yahushua answered and said unto them, you do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor
that's right,
the Elohim. For in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the Malachim of Elohim and Shamayim. But as touching the resurrection of the dead, have you not read that which was spoken unto you by Elohim, saying, I am the Elohim of Abraham, the Elohim of Isaac.
Elohim of Jacob.
Elohim is not the Elohim of the dead,
but of the what?
The living.
Of the who?
Of the living.
Of the who?
Of the living.
Okay.
And when the multitude heard, they were astonished at his doctrine.
That's good. I didn't want to do. He said he the Elohim of the living. That's why you can't. Remember how we were talking about the other day when people say everybody sin? You know what I'm talking about? Well, then you dead then, because our Elohim is the Elohim of the living, and whatever there's sin, there's death. Because he say the soul that sin, it'll what? It'll die. So if he the Elohim of the living, then we have to be of the living. So that means you have to partake in that seed and let that seed do its thing to produce the fruit, because against such there is no law, and you would never taste death. See, this is what these people don't want to tell you, man. They want to keep you in death. You don't need to listen to people who going to tell you, oh, you always going to sin. Let's put it this way, right? Let's just take the word out to play if such a thing was possible. You know what I'm saying? And the standard that the word hell was out of power. Let's just say you used to smoke crack. How would you feel if somebody tells you if you had it in your mind, you didn't want to use drugs? I'm just using crack, but any drug will do. Just imagine if you use drugs and now you made a decision you don't want to use drugs no more, and everybody telling you you always gonna use drugs. How would you perceive that? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you always gonna smoke weed. You always gonna drink alcohol. You always gonna smoke crack. You always gonna smoke cocaine. What do you mean? No, I'm not gonna do that no more. I don't want to do that no more. What if you always sold drugs and then you know how many dudes sold drugs and people told them that's all they was ever gonna be? What about some women who used to be out here hoeing and throwing? I ain't talking about hoeing and throwing for free either. I'm talking about hoeing and throwing for a fee. I'm talking about real prostitutes. I ain't talking about no dumb hoeing. Because I would talk that earlier. If you're going to get up with a wet behind in a dry pocket, you's a dumb hoe. Because if you just finna be having sex with any and everybody, baby, you ought to get paid. But that don't even make no sense to just be having sex for free. You done slept with 30 dudes and you ain't getting nothing? You stupid. You know what I'm talking about? Because why were you doing that? You were doing that for cheap thrills and for fun? If you got that much low self-esteem, you ought to got paid while you were doing it. That's just my personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. If you're going to sin, man, you ought to benefit from it. All you got was a little bit of pleasure and no money. You got the same amount of bodies as the prostitute, but with no money. You should have got paid. Yeah, you should have got paid. Where are you taking them? All you got to do is settle down and go. You can let go of her hand. You're stronger than her. Straight up, Brother Craig, what's the point? It doesn't make sense. But imagine if you was a woman and you used to live like, or kind of like what he said in the text. He said the publicans and the harlots heard the word and believed. They were willing to stop doing what they were doing. Now imagine if somebody told them, you'll always be a harlot. You're always going to be a harlot. When you let people tell you you always going to sin, that's what they're telling you. They telling you you can never be better than the current state that you in. Why would you listen to that? Why would you allow someone to convince you of that? Why would you say, yeah, you know what, you're right. I'm going to always be a lying, proud, arrogant, whorish individual. Nah, you don't have to be that. And you don't have to allow people to convince you to be that because that's what they are and that's what they desire to remain. You don't have to allow that to happen. Come on, sister. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where we start at? Verse 21. Read it again.
So then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years. And you shall sow the 8th year, and eat of the old fruit until the 9th year. Until the fruits come in you, you shall eat of the old store.
Pause. What you think this means in verse 22? I want you to pause and think about it good, too. You know what I'm talking about? Read it out loud again, man.
It says, you shall sow the 8th year, and eat of old fruit until the 9th year. Until the fruits come in you, shall eat the old.
He said you'll eat the what in the 8th year?
The old.
Until the what year?
Until the 9th year.
And then what's going to happen? Until her fruits come in. And then you shall eat of the old. I'm going to give y'all a second to think on that. Come here, Donnie Joe. Come on. Donnie Joe, sit down. Y'all tell me what you come up with. That verse 22, I want you to think on it good. That and Passover, that's correct. No, I'm just saying, no, I don't want to say the only because you said only. I just mentioned the other one that did. But that's correct. Tabernacles is 8 days long. So go ahead and share what you had. No, you could be on the right track. I just had to add that in case somebody say, he said Passover was the only day that feast day that had 8 days. That's why I said that. It's always somebody in the cut looking for a reason to say, see, I told you that nigga ain't know what he was talking about. So you don't get that. Yeah, part of. Read something for me, sis. Luke chapter 12, verse 43. Tell me what it say. You got my money?
Verse 43.
Yeah, Luke 12 and 43. Tell me what it says. Matter of fact, make it 39.
And this know that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched.
Back me up to 37, man. Let me see what that say. I didn't want to fool this up. Come on, 35.
Let your loins be girded about, your lights burning. Let your loins be girded about, and lights burning.
Come on.
Do yourselves like unto men that wait for the Lord when he will return from the wedding. And when he come and knock, they may open unto him immediately.
Come on.
Baruch those servants whom the Lord, when he comes, shall find watching. Truly I say unto you that he shall gird himself and make them sit down to meat.
Hey, little bug. No, ma'am. Go ahead.
Shall make them sit down to meat and will come forth and serve them. And if he shall come in the second watch or come in the third watch and find.
Come in the what watch?
The second watch or the third watch and find so.
What was the first watch? I will pass over. What was the second watch? And what's the third? Okay, come on with it.
And if he shall come in the second, and this know that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched, not have suffered his house to be broken through. Be you therefore ready also, for the Son of Man come at an hour when you think not. Then Peter said unto him, Lord, speak you this parable unto us, or even to all? And the Lord said, Who then is that faithful and wise steward, whom Lord shall make ruler over his household?
You see how Peter wanted to know who he was talking to? Are you talking to just us, the 12, or are you talking to everybody? Because he understood that there were some things that he was only talking to them. But now he's talking to everybody. Listen.
To give portions of meat in due season. Baruch that servant whom his Lord, when he comes, shall find so doing. Of a truth I say unto you, that it will make him ruler over all that he has.
Mm-hmm.
But and if that servant say in his heart, My Lord delay is coming, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maidens, and to eat and drink, and to be drunken, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he look not forward, and at an hour when he is not aware, and will cut him in sunder, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers.
So pause. When you say you shall sow the 8th year and eat old fruit, tell them what old fruit is. Old fruit is parade.
Old is Yashan. That's old.
Not the
storage.
Say what? Storage.
Mm-hmm. It's old, store, or storage.
You're gonna eat fruit that's been stored up. So what is this fruit that's been stored up? Let's take a look at something, man. Let me narrow this down in my mind before we hit to the key component of the whole thing.
Because he's saying that they got fruit out of the field, then they put seeds in the field, and they ate the fruit that they got.
They say, no, that's what it is, right? When you look at verse 21, well, let's back this up. In the 7th year, he said you won't have to sow or gather in any increase. He said in that 7th year, I'm gonna give you fruit for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's verse 21. So he said, I command my blessing for you in the 6th year to give you food for 3 years. Until you get to the 9th year. Now, in that year, you'll be in that 8th year. You gonna eat. You can sow, but you gonna eat old fruit. You're not gonna eat any of the fruit that's been sold. You're not eating none of that. But in the 9th year, you'll be eating new fruit. And you know what I'm talking about?
You'll be eating fruit that you sowed in the 8th year.
You know what I'm saying? Now we going past that. So now you got to pause. You got to think. What is the old fruit? Well, we read what the old fruit is. Let's take a look at it this way. Give me Matthew 13. Give me verse 21. Yeah, remember they ate manna in the wilderness, and when they came in the land, they no longer ate the manna, but they ate the fruit of the land. I'm mainly dealing with this because he said the fruit of the womb is his reward. You know what I'm talking about? But this is a whole nother concept outside of that because we hadn't finished Jubilee. So we have to deal with the things that deal with Jubilee, but they also, the things that deal with Jubilee also deal with childbirth. You know what I'm talking about? But just in a different aspect. Don Joanne, get your black behind up off that floor. Leave my stuff alone. No, don't try to fake like you sleep. I wish you like to do it. I didn't like to run off and fall down and fake snore. Yes, sir.
Did you say how you said in the kingdom of Mashiach, the tree of life?
Tree of life won't be in the kingdom of Mashiach.
But the tree of life be in the kingdom
of heaven. Yeah. So what we're narrowing down, remember, what is Jubilee by definition? Releasing of freedom. It's freedom. Liberty. Don't you mess with her. Come on, remember Matthew 13:20.
It say, yet have he no root in himself, but endure for a while. For when tribulation and persecution arise because of the word, by and by he is offended. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that hear the word, and the cares of this world, the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and they become unfruitful. But he that receives seed into the good ground is he that hear the word and understand, which also bear fruit and bring forth some 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
Now, we already talked about that fruit that you would bear, that you would be eaten from. But he said that you would bring forth new fruit that you would eat from. I'm going to read verse 22 again. You shall sow the 8th year and eat of the old fruit until the 9th year. Until her fruits come in, you shall eat the old. Until her fruits come in, you shall eat the old. Let's take a look at this. 1 Corinthians 15 and 50.
What did you say?
1 Corinthians 15 and 50, son.
Say, now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the Malkuth of Elohim, neither do corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your sting? O grave, where is your victory? The sting of death is sin, the strength of sin, the law. But thanks to Elohim, which give us the victory through our Master Yahushua HaMashiach. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be you steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord.
So Paul. Now, he mentioned first and second resurrection. That's not really, get down, Joanne. Y'all trying to get down at the same time, and that's why y'all facing a little trouble. So, it's not the first and second resurrection that we're focusing on. It's more so of the two separate kingdoms and what will happen in those two separate kingdoms. I want you to go to Revelation 20 and 12. Because I was trying to hit as many places before going to Revelation 21, and then it'd be over with.
And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before Elohim, and the books were open, and another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according
now
to their
remember,
work.
Mashiach is already in his kingdom at this point. You've been eating the old fruit the whole time you were there. Matter of fact, let me show you how you were eating the old fruit. Praise you, Lord. I should have did it the first time. Isaiah 2 and 1. After that, Micah 4 and 1. Isaiah 2 and 1, Micah 4 and 1.
The word that Isaiah the son of Amoz saw concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem, it shall come to pass in the last days, the mountain of Yahuwah's house shall be established, and the top of the mountains shall be exalted above the hills. And
above the what?
Above the hills.
And above the who?
All nations shall flow into it.
Listen.
And many people shall go and say, come you, let us go up into the mountain of Yahuwah, to the house of Elohim of Jacob. He will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths.
He will do what of his ways?
Teach us of his ways.
And we'll walk in his what?
His paths.
He will teach us of his what?
His ways.
And we're going to walk in his what?
His paths.
Listen to him.
For out of Zion shall go forth the law.
Out of Zion going to go forth what?
The law.
Out of Zion going to go forth the what?
The law.
Listen, right?
The word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem.
Listen. Malachi 4, I keep saying Malachi. Micah 4 and 1.
But
matter of fact, before you read Micah, well, you can read it, man. And we just do it in order.
But in the last days it shall come to pass, the mountain of the house of Yahuwah shall be established in the top of the mountains. It shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it. Many nations shall come and say, let us go up to the mountain of Yahuwah, to the house of Elohim of Jacob.
I know they said the same thing. I just want you to hear a witness from a different prophet, bearing witness to the same thing.
He will teach us of his ways, we will walk in his paths, for the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahuwah from Jerusalem.
Give me Ezekiel 43 and 8.
And their setting of the threshold by my thresholds, their posts by my posts, and the wall between me and them, they have even defiled my Kadash name by their abominations they have committed. Wherefore I have consumed them in my anger. And let them put away their whoredom, the carcasses of their kings, far from me, and I will dwell in the midst of them forever.
Listen,
you son of man, show the house to the house of Yasharal, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities. Let them measure the pattern. If they be ashamed of all that they have done, show them the form of the house, the fashion thereof, the goings out thereof, the comings in thereof, and all the forms thereof, all the ordinances thereof, and all the forms thereof, and all the laws thereof.
Listen.
Right in their sight, that they may keep the whole form thereof, and all the ordinance thereof, and do them.
Listen.
This is the law of the house, upon the top of the mountain, the whole limit thereof round about, most Kadash. Behold, this is the law of the house.
Now come on down here to Ezekiel 44 and 7.
In that you have brought strangers, uncircumcised in heart, uncircumcised in flesh.
Notice the first thing he said that he was concerned with. It was that uncircumcision of heart was the number one thing that he was concerned with. Come on.
To be in my sanctuary, to pollute it, my house, when you offer my bread, the fat, and the blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations.
And you have not kept charge
of my Kadash things.
Listen.
But you have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourselves.
Let's go.
Thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh shall enter into my sanctuary of any stranger that is among the sons of Yasharal.
So this is a key thing again. You can't come in if you're uncircumcised in heart. You know why the uncircumcision in the heart is greater than the uncircumcision in flesh? Because that truly shows that the covenant of Yahuwah was not inward with you. See, the circumcision of the flesh was showing the outward sign of the covenant. The circumcision of the heart is showing that it's in you, not on you. See, a lot of brews want to own them, but not in them. It's a lot of brews we circumcised and they still going to hell, which is all Paul was talking about when he wasn't pressed and stressed about people being circumcised. Get Matthew 13:52, that Quran mentioned, and then slide to Zechariah 14 and 7, I believe.
So then said he unto them, therefore every scribe instructed unto the Malkuth of Shamaim is like unto a man, a householder, which bring forth out of his treasures new and old.
See, that he looking at that as forth as the old fruit and the new fruit, but see, that's a little different. See, that's more so you able to show forth the testimony on each end. But we talking about actually being in the land in the year. Pause for a moment. When you turn around and you look at it, right? Paul said we were given the ministry of what? So that means you were given a ministry of atonement for all intents and purposes. Would that be a proper thing to say? You would be getting the ministry of kafar, kapor, whatever you want to say. Don't make me no never mind. So then if we're dealing with Yahushua returning on tabernacles at the blowing of the trump, can it be safely to say that if it's Jubilee and that's the time of freedom and all people are being set free, and then of course it's an atonement because now the people are being reconciled to Elohim for a ransom that was already paid before the trumpet was blown. You see tabernacles, trumpets and tabernacles. Well, shoot, trumpets too. Atonement and Jubilee being performed on his return. Because if we look at it in the aspect spiritually of the 8th year, then of course you're looking at it as forth as the 8th day or that last great day of the feast when you would finish gathering in the crops, if you would, because that's in gathering. That tabernacle bring forth the meat that I might have meat in my house. But see, the 9th year is what you get stomped down. Because when you get the 9th year, that means how long does Mashiach reign for? How long he reign for, Norris? One day. You probably think about the year. It's 1,000 years, but it's one day. So in this aspect, 1 year. See what I'm saying? See, I know the 8 years and the 9 year I throw y'all. You know what I'm saying? But we don't want to line it up the way you get so literal that you miss the actual point that's being conveyed. Because the point of being conveyed is pointing you to something greater. You know what I'm talking about? So come over here to where you at now? Yeah, read that.
But it shall be one day which shall be known to Yahuwah, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass at evening time it shall be light. It shall be in that day living water shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them towards the former sea, half of them toward the hinder sea. And summer and winter shall it be.
Summer and winter shall it what?
Shall it be.
Now remember, right? This is taking you back to your law. This is Genesis 8:22. Read that for them. The summer and winter part of why we're reading Genesis 8:22 is not why we're going there. That's not my focus. It's the second half that is what is my focus. Listen to it.
While the earth remains, seed time and harvest.
The first part I should say, seed time and what?
And harvest.
Seed time and what?
And harvest.
Shall what?
Cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease.
Read that again from the top.
Say, while the earth remains.
While the what remains?
While the earth remains.
While the what remains?
While the earth remains.
See, this is why it's important about why you won't be eating you'll eat the old fruit until the 9th year, because while the earth remains. See, we talked about this before. When there's a new heaven and a new earth, ain't no more seed time and harvest. Ain't no more cold and winter. I mean, summer, cold and heat. Ain't no more summer and winter. Once the earth, I didn't heard a dude say that. I don't believe we're going to be dwelling on the earth. I think the new heaven and new earth. Look here, man. When that man said new heaven and new earth, we done talked about this before. But for those who may not be aware, let me clue you in and put you up on some game, because these niggas lame to the game. They going to lead you and have you ashamed. Listen what I'm going to tell you. When you go outside and you look at that heaven, matter of fact, I'm going to do this here. Isaiah 51 for me, please, sir. Isaiah 51:7, if you would, man. If you would greatly oblige me.
Hearken unto me, you that know righteousness, the people in whose heart is my law. Fear you not the reproach of men, neither be you afraid of the revilings. For the moth shall eat them up like a garment, and the worm shall eat them up.
I might have you out of pocket. That's my bad. Give me verse 4. I got you out of pocket. That's on me.
Hearken unto me, my people, and give ear unto me, O my nation, for a law shall proceed from me,
yes,
and I'll make my judgments a rest for a light of the people.
Yes, sir.
My righteousness near, my salvation is gone forward.
Come on.
My arm shall judge the people, the isle shall wait upon me,
Listen to me.
and on my arm shall they trust.
Listen.
Lift up your eyes to
Huh, this is what I
Shamayim.
want you to do. Everybody on this stream, on the clubhouse, if you got a window in your home, I want you to do exactly, and I mean exactly, what this man about to tell you to do. Read that for me again. What he say?
Lift up your eyes to Shamayim.
Lift up your eyes unto heaven.
Look upon the earth beneath.
And look at the earth beneath. What he say gonna happen?
For Shamayim shall vanish away like smoke.
Like smoke.
And the earth shall wax old like a garment.
And everything in between.
And they that dwell therein shall die in like manner.
So this man say he gonna destroy the heavens and the earth. But that ain't the new heaven and new earth. Why is he finna destroy this heaven and the earth? Give me 2 Peter chapter 3, man. You give me verse 5. Don't encourage.
For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of Elohim, Shamayim were of old, and the earth standing out.
So by the word of Elohim, this is what created the heavens that you see outside. Let me tell you something. That's the same heaven that he flooded. Peter finna tell you this here. So all that booty touching they were doing in Sodom and Gomorrah, all that doggone adultery they were doing in Yasharal, all that doggone cross-dressing they were doing in Egypt, all that pedophilia they were doing in Greece, all that stuff that was going down was done under the same heaven and on the same earth. You know what that tell us? You know what that tell me? This whole heaven and earth is defiled. It's defiled. It's defiled. See, this is something that dudes don't want to deal with, man. Boy, that heaven outside is defiled. Boy, you done did everything under heaven up under it, boy. Remember, he said, I call heaven and earth as a witness against you. This here, right? Allegedly, the heavens done seen T.D. Jakes be a power bottom. They done seen it. Allegedly, they seen Obama taking that on Miami Blast. They seen it. Oh, you Googled the Miami Blast? Oh, that disturbed me. They didn't have visuals, did they?
No. I had a visual in my head.
I was gonna say. I said that's going too far. Google got X-rated. Well, at least you Googled it. I didn't think anybody was actually gonna do that.
What you keep saying, I'm like, what is it?
Yeah, you know, if you curious, I know what it is. Yeah, man. Miami Blast mean you like the you like the finer things in life. You like to fly first class. You say you don't want to go to Scotty. That's a different way of living right now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that was, I don't know what you call that.
What's that? You gotta talk about it. For those who don't know, a Miami Blast is a man who is partaking in the smoking of free base while being pleasured orally by a man or a woman or a dog while he is partaking in the pleasures of free base. That's a Miami Blast. That's why I said when the man said that, I said that's a heck of an accusation because that's very specific. That you have to be really ingrained in the drug world, more specifically the distribution of crack cocaine on the street level to even be aware of what that is. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not something that somebody who partakes in other narcotics would be privy to. You know what I'm saying? If you're not in that world, if you're dealing with if you're not dealing street level, because that's street level activity. You know what I'm saying? So, and mainly dudes who've been on dealing with work on the street level and that's a Florida thing for one. You know what I'm talking about? Clearly, it's called a Miami Blast. You know what I'm talking about? So because Florida's different. We live different. We move different. I just seen man, Fat Boy something with this thing, man. I don't know if y'all know who Dexter Jackson is, but he's a world-class bodybuilder. But Busta Rhymes said he wanted to lose some weight. He happened to see Dexter Jackson on the story saying, yeah, he was in Jacksonville. And Dexter Jackson told him, if you want to lose weight, you got to come to Jacksonville for 30 days. You know what I'm saying? So Busta Rhymes was down here for 30 days losing weight. But that's not the point. I mentioned that for context because old punk old dog, funky back bastard, going to have the nerve to talk about, I wouldn't want to be in Jacksonville for 30 days. I started telling you, punk, keep your faggot behind from down here then, because ain't nobody asked your sissy behind to come down here. I don't know why niggas say that, John. Keep your sissy behind from down here. Because I promise you come down here that bad, you're going back to your mom in a box. You know what I'm talking about? That's how Willie D put it. Come around here with that hip stuff, you're going back to your mama in a pine box. You come down here to Jacksonville with that stuff if you want to. Man, Jacksonville, this, that, there, and the third. They're sending you back to your mama in a box. You know what I'm talking about? And I ain't saying that because I'm so tough or that's something to be proud of. I'm just telling you. If you come around here with that nonsense, these boys sending you back home in a box. You know what I'm talking about? And they always been doing it. This ain't something that just happened because, oh, you heard about Fulio and Young and Ace, nigga. These niggas been putting niggas in a box since the day I was born. I don't think I've ever known a period of time in Jacksonville where it was peaceful for an extended period of time. That's why I thank the Lord we ain't got a population like Chicago, New York, or anybody else, because the rate of murders would be astonishing. Because I'm talking about per capita, because per capita, the murder rate here is very high. Numbers-wise, it's not. You know what I'm saying? You see 120 murders, that's not a lot of murders. You know what I'm talking about? But when you go per 100,000, that's a lot of murder. You know what I'm saying? You go somewhere like New York, they might have 500 murders, but they got 13 million people. That means really they're not killing each other like that. But in the 90s, them niggas in New York was getting slaughtered by the bundles. It was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? It was utterly ridiculous. The murder rate in Louisiana and New Orleans, Louisiana at one time was absolutely ridiculous. Long time. And this is a city that only had 500,000 people in it.
If you encounter for 30 days,
Yeah, they gotta let you go. Yeah, they ain't.
I got away with murder, so.
And you know what's funny that you mentioned that? Because when Katrina hit and the boys started going to other states, they thought that law in New Orleans was everywhere. So they was like, yeah, you're going to have to let me go. And one of them detectives say, nigga, this ain't Louisiana. You going to prison. Hey, that nigga was looking dumb. And he just knew like, oh, after such and such days, you got to let me go. He said, buddy, this ain't New Orleans. You going to prison. We ain't got to let you get your hand out my camera, boy. Yeah, come on. Come on, where you at? Come on, read it again.
Say, for this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of Elohim the Shamahim were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby that world that then was being overflowed with water perished. The Shamahim and earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store.
Kept in store to what?
Reserved under fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
So he leaving this same heaven and earth so he can kill everybody again. Listen.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day with the Lord is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day.
That's right.
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward. Not
that's
willing.
Good. Come on back to Zechariah 14. Don Joanne. Don't fall out of that chair. Because that ain't like your chair. No. Don't assist her. Let her suffer the consequences of her choices.
What did you say?
Zechariah 14. I think it's verse 8.
No.
Hey man, sit down and get out my camera, bro. I'm not telling you that again. You gotta talk to him like that because he don't seem to understand niceties. Look at you. You're stuck. Look at you.
And it shall be in that day, living water shall go out from Jerusalem, half of them toward the former sea, half of them toward the hinder sea. In summer and in winter shall it be. And Yahuwah shall be king over all the earth. That day shall there be one Yahuwah, and his name one.
Notice that it said in that day to be one.
One Yahuwah.
And one.
His name one.
Come on.
All the land shall be turned as a plain from Geba to Ramon, south of Jerusalem, and it shall be lifted up and inhabited in her place. From Benjamin's gate unto the place of the first gate, unto the corner gate, and the tower of Hananel, unto the king's wine presses. It shall dwell in it, and there shall be no more utter destruction. But Jerusalem shall be safely inhabited. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahuwah will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass in that day, a great tumult from Yahuwah shall be among them. They shall lay hold every one on the hand of his neighbor, and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor. Yehudah also shall fight at Jerusalem, and the wealth of all the heathen round about shall be gathered together.
Now, you're going to go through all this here, right? It said they got to come up for the Feast of Tabernacles. But the Feast of Tabernacles is a part of what? The law. Now, I want you to read me Matthew 5 and 17 on general principle. Don Joanne, sit it down. Go ahead.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law.
I
of the
come not
prophets, to destroy,
but to what?
To fulfill.
Go ahead.
For truly I say unto you, till Shamahim and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
So that tells us when heaven and earth pass, what's going to happen to the law? It's going to pass away. He said the law won't pass away till heaven and earth pass. I'm only saying that because what does that take us back to from the beginning? There was no law. We know this already. It wasn't no law. Because what did we read after he took Eve out of Adam? They said they were both what? And not what? They ain't had no dishonor. They ain't had no reproach. What bring man reproach? What is the knowledge of sin? I would have not known sin except the law said, thou shalt not what? Covet. So we talking about a different time and a different game. So when you see that you eat another old fruit, because then we just read in Micah and Isaiah that when the Lord come back, that he would be teaching all the nations his law. Then we didn't read that. Now let's come over here to Revelation 21 and 1 and let's make it seem make it do what it do. Some people may agree, some people might not. All I know is if you're wrong, you're going to hell.
And I saw
because hold on, because see, this is what people's problem is. Do you really think Yahuwah in heaven need the law for him to be Yahuwah? You think he need that? You think the Father need the law? This is what you have to understand. You have to stop thinking so carnally and rigidly. There's a reason why he told them not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Notice what, when they ate from the tree, what did the serpent say? What did Yahuwah say? Now they become like what? Like me, to know good and evil. Who say he the one who came up with the law? He didn't come up with the law for himself. That was for transgressors. That was for sinners. Heaven and earth is passing away because the Father coming to dwell.
I'm just saying. I'm looking at what you just said. Like he made us already upright. Not, you know what I'm saying? Meaning he already made us right.
They did.
I mean, we could have dwelled with him if we ate
from the tree of life. Absolutely. Right. None of this that ever happened. None of that would have ever happened. None of the recorded history that we ever experienced would have ever happened. Matter of fact, truth be told, Adam could have produced offspring and everybody who was produced would have lived forever. But they chose not. Say destroy the earth because what? Oh, he didn't destroy the tree because they ate from it.
I'm saying that's why he got to destroy the earth. He would, like you said, he would have had to destroy the earth.
Well, he destroying the earth for two reasons. One, because he come to dwell on the Father himself. He can't dwell in nothing unclean, nothing defiled, and where no sinners is. And as it say in Psalms 104 and 35, he got to wipe all the sinners out of the earth. They got to go. And then I'm going to make a new heaven, a new earth. And just like he said in Isaiah 51 and 3, I'm going to make Jerusalem like the Garden of Eden. I'm going to do it all. We finna read it. I'm going to make all things what? New. Because he said you're going to eat the old fruit in the 8th year, but in the 9th, you're going to eat what? New fruit. Revelation 21 and 1.
And I saw a new Shamahim and a new earth, for the first Shamahim and the first earth were passed away. There was no more sea. And I, John, saw the Kadash city, New Jerusalem.
Notice that the heaven and earth don't pass till New Jerusalem comes. That means Satan got to be destroyed. All his minions got to be destroyed. Anything that promotes sin and because remember, right? How you gonna be eating new fruit if Satan get locked up for 1,000 years and he get loose to deceive the nations one more time, and then somebody getting killed, and then what we got to do with the bodies? You're gonna be burying bodies for 7 months to cleanse the land. Then a new heaven, a new earth comes.
So is that 8th year symbolic of the 1,000-year reign?
Yes, it is. That's what we were getting to. Yes, sir. Revelation 21 and 1.
And I saw a new Shamahim and a new earth, for the first Shamahim and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the Kadash city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Elohim, out of Shamahim, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Mm-hmm. And I heard a great voice say, out of Shamahim saying, behold, the tabernacle of Elohim with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. Elohim himself shall be with them and be their Elohim.
Notice, because Yahusha already with them. That's when he's saying in that day, Yahuwah shall be one, and his name one. Go ahead. That's why you read when they say, and then Mashiach will deliver up to the kingdom. You can read it. Get First Corinthians 15, man. Verse 18, if you would. Come on, man. I'm going to wrap this up for a second so these niggas can go outside and run that in and make it easier for them to go to bed when you take them home.
Then they also which are fallen asleep in Mashiach are perished. If in this life only we have hope in Mashiach, we are of all men most miserable.
Most miserable.
But now is Mashiach risen from the dead, become the first fruits of them that slept.
First fruit, see, fruit of the womb is his reward. Sons are the inheritance of Yahuwah. See, I get to the point, and you can use the second resurrection, or really the first resurrection, I say, not the second. Because everyone who we talked about it last night, when he'll see his seed. And that's his reward. Because every son of God that produces the reward for Yahushua, that's his reward. Come on.
For since by man death, by man also the resurrection of the dead.
Listen.
For as in Adam all die, even so Mashiach shall all be made alive.
Amen.
But every man in his own order, Mashiach the first fruits, afterwards they that are Mashiach's at his coming.
Listen.
Then the end, when he shall have delivered up the Malchus to Elohim.
When he delivered up the kingdom to Elohim.
Even the Abba.
Even to his father.
Even when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power.
He going to put down all rule, authority, and power and do what with it?
For he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet.
He got to reign till he put, notice that we don't read until Revelation 20 when the throne come up and people get judged. Now death is put under his feet.
The last enemy shall be destroyed is death.
And then once that enemy is destroyed, that's when New Jerusalem comes. And that's when the new heaven and new earth come. See, people don't pay attention to that. That's why until that in that 8th year, you eat old fruit. Can't eat new fruit till the 9th year because everything ain't done. See, everybody looking at death getting put down. Death getting put down ain't just people not dying no more. It's making sure everybody who's judged is judged. Everybody who's going to be condemned is condemned. All enemies are destroyed. And then it's over. And then we're going to proceed how his will and intent was from the beginning. Which was for you to dwell in the Garden of Eden and to dwell and eat there freely. Which is why the tree of life is not mentioned anywhere in Yahushua's kingdom, only in the kingdom of heaven. That's why the tree of knowledge of good and evil ain't even mentioned, because it will pass away. Because the law was made for sinners. It wasn't made for a just man. And if everybody who's going to be in the kingdom of heaven is a son of God, and that means the law is in their heart, then what they need the law for? They don't. Because they would not be naked, nor ashamed. And what does Isaiah 28 tell you? He that believe on him shall not be ashamed. Didn't he tell you that he'll give you clean linen? Which is the what? The righteousness of the saints. So you wouldn't, if you was naked, you wouldn't know you was naked because your eyes would be closed. Because you would know no sin. Let's go. Come on with it.
For he had put all things under his feet, but when he said all things are put under him, manifest that he is accepted, which did put all things under him. When all things shall be subdued unto him, then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him that put all things under him, that Elohim may be all in all. Else what shall they do which are immersed for the dead?
So that's good, right? See, then the Son has to complete everything his Father wanted him to complete, and then he returned to be into subjection under his Father. To mean to obey. To obey. Come on back to Revelation, man. You can start at verse 1 again, 21 and 1. Some may understand, some may not understand. And that's okay. But if you don't understand, holla at me.
And I saw a new Shamahim and a new earth, for the first Shamahim and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the Kedah city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Elohim out of Shamahim, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of Shamahim saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Elohim with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Elohim himself shall be with them and be their Elohim.
Listen.
And Elohim shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. There shall be no more death.
No more what?
No more death.
Obviously, during Mashiach's reign, there'll be death because he killed Gog and Magog. Come on.
Neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
Because of what things are passed away?
The former things.
So that means the old things are passed away. Come on.
And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new.
He make all things what?
New.
Make all things what?
New.
So in that 9th year or in that 9th day, all things are new.
And he said unto me, Write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, it is done. I am Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end.
That's it.
I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely. He that overcomes shall inherit all things.
That's it.
And I'll be his Elohim, he shall be my son.
That's it.
But the fearful and unbelieving, the abominable, murderers, whoremongers, sorcerers, idolaters, and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burn with fire and brimstone, which is the second death.
That's good. I ain't gonna lie to you. Because the rest of that stuff that's gonna come up in Leviticus is gonna be drastically different than what we just talked about. That's gonna be if your brother waxing poor and debt and things of that nature. You know what I'm talking about? And we have to deal with that separately. Just based on time period of time where we at. Because we will probably stop right here, man. Do you understand? Did you catch all that? Give me Matthew 13:47, man. I'll end it with that. Come here, Don Joanne.
Say again, the Malkuth of Shamayim is like unto a net that was cast into the sea and gathered of every kind, which when it was full, they drew to shore and sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The Malachim shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Come on.
Yahweh said unto them, have you understood all these things?
Did you understand all those things? Did you understand what I talked to y'all about, children? What I talked to y'all about, children? Very good, sir. Very good. Very good, sir.
And they said unto him, yea, Lord. Then said he unto them, therefore every scribe instructed unto the Malkuth of Shamayim is like unto a man that is a householder, which bring forth out of his treasure new and old.
So we'll say hallelujah for Yahushua. Word. Did you understand that aspect about the old fruit and the new fruit? Now we still got more elements, especially the aspect of I found a ransom. And that Job 33. And that laying on that bed. And the instruction of chastisement that comes from laying on that bed in order to get that ransom to produce that fruit. Because that ransom through the chastisement of laying on that bed is what produced sons, and therefore the fruit of the womb and the gods, Eve being the mother of all living. Because that's kind of what we're going to go to next with it. Like I said, I forgot what I was listening to. Somebody was talking about being in deep sleep. So we need to talk about some of the things that was sleep. We kind of touched on that. He gave his beloved sleep with the bread of sorrow. But you know what that is. Take, eat, this is my body. You know what I'm talking about? I wonder even if the term break bread even comes from when he broke bread with them. You know what I'm talking about? So when you look at that, those bread of sorrows that he had, you know, he gave his beloved sleep. But in giving his beloved sleep, it was able to give awakeness or light, if you would, to all of us. So give praise to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua for that. I appreciate y'all time this evening. Bless y'all the house Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Yahuwah willing, man. We'll be back at it on Wednesday, man. Make it do what it do. And yeah, y'all willing till that time. Shoot, man, I was thinking, man,